Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Adriana. This is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you've completed, it looks like, 3 different independent writing practice tests. I'm going to give you some feedback on those right now. So you're one of my online students. And also, you paid for the additional service to get more specific feedback in your pronunciation and your speaking areas so you can do better on the TOEFL exam. And if I remember correctly, your goal is to get 26. So with the integrated speaking number 3, you said the question asked about the lecture, is it necessary to talk about the reading or not? I would say discuss the reading enough to provide a context to help you answer the question. That would be my advice there. And your question is a good question because when you take the TOEFL, the main thing is to look at the speaking and the writing task and determine exactly what it is you're being asked to do. You're not just trying to memorize before you go to the TOEFL. The TOEFL will give you specific directions on how it wants you to answer the question. That's exactly what you want to do. All right, let's take a look at your first integrated speaking practice test.
The reading introduces the topic of the necessity of children to attend school. In addition, the lecture discusses profoundly about the topic, and the author provides 2 reasons to support this discussion about the necessity of children to attend school.
Okay, so far you got a good introduction that sets up the speech.
First of all, the author says that children need to attend school in order to increase their knowledge about geography, for example, which helps children to become more environmentally aware about our environment and learn how to protect our natural environment from future neglected generations. And the second reason is that children need to attend school in order to learn to gain knowledge about small business administration, and it's used as an example the student from Taiwan who attended an MBA in order to help him gain entrepreneurial skills, who is going to help him in the future to grow his father's business.
Okay, so it looks like you got, I think, most of the key points. So you're looking good so far. Now let's listen to it one more time, and I'm going to spend more time on each part of your speech and also focus on your pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, as well as your topic development.
The reading introduces the topic of the necessity of children to attend school.
So introduces the topic of children to attend school. You could say something like this. Introduces the topic of why children need to attend school. That might be better. Use a noun clause there to express the cause-effect type relationship.
In addition, the lecture discussed profoundly.
Don't forget the lecture discusses. 3 syllables, not 2, because it ends in S, right? Discuss, that's singular. But if you want to make it the third person singular, the lecture discusses
About the topic, and the author provides 2 reasons to support this discussion about the necessity of children to.
Well, how about instead of saying the lecture discusses a topic, just say the lecture provides 2 reasons to support why children, or presents 2 reasons to support the idea mentioned in the reading. Something like that.
Attend school. First of all, the author says that children need to attend school in order to increase their knowledge about geography, for example, which helps children to become more environmentally aware about our environment and learn how to protect our natural environment from future neglected generations and
from future neglected generations.
Second reason is that children need to attend school in order to learn to gain knowledge about small business administration.
So you had some unnecessary pauses right in there.
And it's used as an example the student from Taiwan who attended an MBA in order to help.
You might say the lecture presents an example of a student from Taiwan who, that might be a little bit smoother in the grammar.
Him gain entrepreneurial skills who is going to help him in the future to grow his father's business.
So the word skills, not skill. I mean, skill, ill. It's not the, you had the plural S on it, that was good, but the word it, skills, not skills, but skills. Very, very minor problem there. But, I think you got the main idea here. I don't think this is going to be 26 out of 30, though. You had some slight problems, some unnatural sounding type grammar that I pointed out that you could have probably done a little bit better with. So some minor problems with your language use. I think that your topic development was actually pretty strong, and you did give some good examples to support your ideas. You had some minor problems with pronunciation. I'm going to give you 24 points out of 30 on this one, 3.16 out of 4. All right, let's go to number 2. This is integrated speaking number 4. Okay, so you said, I'd like to know, you're asking me a question, exactly what they're looking for in this exam, because sometimes the questions, they sound kind of not very objective, and I do not know how to answer. In terms of picky, be as picky as you can. All right, I'll do that. I think the main thing is, if you want to get some insight into the TOEFL, if you go over to TOEFL.org, they have, I think, several videos that are called Inside the TOEFL in the speaking and writing sections. And in those videos, Adriana, they will discuss with you a little bit about what they're looking for. I think the guy who does the video, his name's Michael. And he talks about the kinds of questions that you'll be asked on the speaking and writing sections of the test. It'll give you some general tips of what you do when you answer those questions, and it'll also tell you how you will be scored. It'll even give you a sample. It'll give you a sample response, so you can kind of see what would be a good response or not a good response. So I would encourage you to go over to TOEFL.org and watch those videos. They're not very long. One of them I think is about 9 minutes long. The other one is about 7 minutes long. But I think that will exactly answer the question you're asking me right now. The main thing is you need to make sure that you address the task. That's really one of the biggest things the guy in the video talks about. He says, answer the question. You must answer the question. So, and as I'm listening to yours, I will continue to be very picky.
According to the lecture, 2 students discuss about the requirements for assignment that professors join class. According to the speakers, their research paper should be between 6 and 7 pages, but not shorter and not longer. The man's opinion is that the professor should be flexible with his requirements, but the woman convinces the man that the professor is not flexible, and she provides 2 reasons to support her opinion.
This is good right here. This is a good speech. I like this one. This is super organized. I'm liking this right now.
Fourthly, she says that she knows somebody who got low grades because had a research paper shorter than 6 pages, in fact was 5.5 pages, and another person failed because had the research paper longer than 7.5 pages.
Don't forget your verb in there, was longer than.
The conclusion is that both students needs to pay more attention on the length of their research paper and not have a paper longer than 7 pages and shorter than 6 pages.
Okay. All right, let's go back to this and listen to it one more time.
According to the lecture, 2 students discuss about the requirements for assignment that professors join class.
So for the assignment of the professor's blank class, there's a word in there. I'm not sure what you're saying. Let me listen to it again.
Discuss about the requirements for assignment that professors join class.
The professor's John class. This is going to hurt your score right here.
Discuss about the requirements for assignment that professors join class.
I'm not exactly sure what that word is right there.
According to the speakers, their research paper should be between 6 and 7 pages, but not shorter and not longer. The man's opinion is that the professor should be flexible with his requirements. But
now, I think part of what happens in the conversation is the man is asking the woman how flexible the professor is regarding the page length requirement. So they kind of have it in a question-answer type thing. The man's like, well, okay, if I turn in, if it's 5 pages, that won't be a big problem, right? Of course, the woman's like, wait a minute. No. You better pay attention. I've taken this class before. I can tell you exactly that this professor is not flexible.
The woman convinces the man that the professor is not flexible, and she provides 2 reasons to support her opinion.
This was very good. The beginning of the speech, you started off in a rough kind of spot because there was a word I couldn't understand. But what you just did here was super organized. It's called a forecast statement. You now prepare me for the 2 reasons, the 2 different things that the woman says about the professor that would be important in convincing the man that the professor is not flexible regarding the page length requirement.
Firstly, she says that she knows somebody who got low grades because had a research.
She knows who? I think you're missing an object in there.
Is that she knows somebody who got low grades.
Oh, she knows somebody, I think you're saying. I think that's a pronunciation problem. Listen to it again.
Is not flexible, and she provides 2 reasons to support her opinion. Firstly, she says that she knows somebody who.
So she knows somebody. So that's kind of a word stress issue. You're still having some minor word stress issues with your speech.
Got low grades because had a research paper shorter than 6 pages. In fact, was 5.5 pages, and another.
There's something going on with the grammar there. Let me listen to that again. Some grammar problems.
Somebody who got low grades because had a research paper. The research paper provides 2 reasons to support her opinion. Firstly, she says that she knows somebody who got low grades.
I wouldn't say whom got, but who got a low grade. You want to use the subject pronoun, not the object pronoun there. So somebody who got a low grade.
Because had a research paper shorter than 6 pages.
Because you want to say because he or she wrote a research paper that was fewer than 6 pages. So you're having some trouble grammatically and with vocabulary trying to express that idea. So I might say something like this. She knows somebody who got a low score because he or she wrote fewer than 6 pages. That would be how I would recast or rephrase that idea.
In fact, was 5.5 pages, and another person failed because had the research paper longer than 7.5.
So another person failed because her research paper was longer than
pages. The conclusion is that both students need to pay more attention on the length of their research paper.
They need to pay more attention to the length, not on. Pay attention to. I think you said on.
Needs to pay more attention on the length of their
needs to pay more attention to the length.
Research paper and not have a paper longer than 7 pages and shorter than 6 pages.
So not have a paper longer than 7 and not shorter than 6, right? Don't forget the word paper. Produce that sound, that P, with a little bit more air than what you're doing. Okay, so this one, also, I'm going to put you between 23 and 24 points out of 30, 3.0 to 3.16. So you did have some language issues in the speech, right? I think that your topic development was pretty strong. You had some minor problems with your pronunciation. There was one word, I'm still not even now sure exactly what that word was in the beginning of your speech. So that's also going to bring down your score just a little bit. So again, between 3.0 and 3.16 out of 4. All right, so let's go to the next one. The last one is watching television redone. Television is bad for children. Okay, so if I remember correctly, with this particular speech, you're redoing it. You had some organizational problems in the speech. Maybe I think it was the second part of the speech that I think didn't work too well because you didn't have enough time to develop it. And I was giving you just a basic suggestion where you might consider deleting that final idea and then just focusing on the educational benefits of television and then provide the reasons that help support that idea. So let's see how you did on this one.
I disagree that watching television is bad for our children because I consider this activity a powerful learning experience. I start by saying that watching television was a great powerful experience during my childhood because it helped me to increase my knowledge about different subjects such as history or geography, and that was useful for my future development. For example, the first documentary movie that I remember is that one that I watched on National Geographic Channel during my childhood and was about Grand Canyon National Park. And that movie, in fact, was my first movie that I saw about America, and briefly, it whetted my appetite to visit this country.
Nice. Better. So this time you chose to use one specific example of how you learned about something from watching TV. That's called an extended example. That was a good strategy, very, very specific. So you did have some minor problems with your delivery, with your pronunciation. Let's listen to it one more time. But I think this was much better than the earlier speech that you did.
I disagree that watching television is bad for our children because I consider this activity a powerful learning experience.
So activity, not activity, but activity. Wait a minute, let me go back. Okay, here we go.
I disagree that watching television is bad for our children because I consider this activity a powerful learning experience. I start by saying that watching television was a great powerful experience during my childhood because it helped me to increase my knowledge about different subjects such as history or geography, and that was useful for my future development. For example, the first documentary movie that I remember is that one that I watched on National Geographic Channel during
I'll say the National Geographic Channel.
my childhood, and was about Grand Canyon National Park. And that movie, in fact, was my first movie that I saw about America. And
I would say America.
Briefly, it whetted my appetite.
And I think with wet, I like that you're saying there, it whet my appetite. Wet is kind of like cut. Cut. Present, past participle. So I think wet. It wetted my appetite. No, I think we just say wet.
To visit this country.
Okay, so I think that's better than the one you did before. So you had some minor problems with your delivery. I think that was about the only problem I think you had with that particular speech, but much more focused, much more specific. You gave the example of the TV show, and you helped show how that was a learning experience for you, which supported the thesis or topic sentence of your task. So I thought that was pretty good. So I think this one is, I'm going to put you between 24 and 26, 3.16 and 3.33 out of 4 on this one. And I think that's it. So in this particular video, I gave you some feedback on 2 different integrated speaking tasks, and you also reworked or redid one of your independent speaking tasks, and I gave you some additional feedback in that area. All right, keep up the good work.